Hey guys, George MGL Performance here. Block is honed. This motor, the cylinders are bottom line at this horsepower level in a drift car, being 700 horsepower naturally aspirated plus 250 shot of nitrous. The cylinders are starting to move and they're starting to deform. So we honed it to the best of our capabilities, and we'll do another season, and then we're gonna make a decision if we're gonna move to a dart block, or because it was a new block and it course shifted and now it's gonna stabilize, we're only gonna find out on the second refresh. So all the cylinders are honed, the block is washed, the camshaft is in. Sorry, I got interrupted. Somebody dropped by to ask some questions. So like I was saying, camshaft is in. All my main bearing clearances have been done. The crankshaft was MagnaFlex, polished, washed, the whole 9 yards. All my clearances, 2.4, 2.5, 2.3, 2.5, 2.6. We have a variance of 3/10. I mean, the housing is within 2/10. There's a little variance within the bearings. Everything is good. Being an aluminum block, the block grows a lot. So I was a bit looser last year and I went a bit tighter this year, 2-3 tenths tighter. Maybe we can maintain better oil pressure, even though it had good oil pressure, but the aluminum block grows a lot. So I decided, you know what, being the temperatures this engine is running and is running hot, the hotter the block, the more it grows. It's not a drag racing engine that it's nice and cool when it's making a pass down the quarter mile. So I decided to keep the main clearances just a little bit tighter than previously. So everything is checked with dull bore gauge, the whole 9 yards. Pistons are there. The connector rods are there. The pistons are back in the washer. And I'll continue putting this together. And then as I'm going along, I'm gonna take some more videos. So crankshaft is in. It's a Cali's Comstar with center counterweights. And my client is sponsored from Cali's. So I believe they give him the connector rods for free. I believe they give him the camshaft for free, and they did him a good deal on the crankshaft. And we're very happy with their products. Everything seems to be running good. Continuing on the video. Okay guys, we're continuing. I just installed the crankshaft in the engine and turned super nice. Like we said, all the clearances are checked. 2.4, 2.5, 2.3, 2.5, 2.6 within 2-3 tenths of a thou variance. The end plate feels good. I just installed the gauge just to show you guys. I've been doing it for so long, I really don't need to use a gauge. I know the way it feels. It's 5.5 thou, which is perfect for our application. 5.5, almost 6. 5.5 and 7 tenths, let's say. It is a manual car with a clutch, so I like my end plate to be a bit looser, just like a car with a trans brake. So this is ideal. 5.5 to 6 for me, it's perfect. We're continuing. Next, I'm gonna get my rings. I like to get my rings after I install the crank, like that the engine is all tied together, the same way it's gonna run. And I'll do my gapping. It is running nitrous, so we're gonna have to keep the gap a bit on the looser side. And we're moving forward. I'll show you quick. I just finished gapping. You cannot get more precise than that. We're continuing. And as I said previously, if you look in the cylinders, you see here, it didn't horn out. Down there, here, and down there. This side, there was issues with this side, with the tune-up, and being a stock block at 950 horsepower in a drift application. And it was a new block when we started, and the cylinders were perfectly honed, super straight. From the abuse of this type of racing, the cylinders are moving, you know. Maybe a cast iron block, more than likely, it would tough it out better. But I believe this aluminum 6.2 block, the cylinders moved quite a bit because of all the power it was making and always being on the cutoff. But we're gonna see on the next refresh, was it because the block was new and it core shifted that it did all that? Maybe. We'll see on the next refresh. But for now, we're continuing. For the ones who want to know some specs, it's 22 thou on the top. Super tight, nice and snug. It is an aluminum block. Aluminum blocks grow. So that's going to be closer to 24 thou when it's running in the engine. Continuing. So we're continuing here. All the rings are gapped. You know, they're placed with each connecting rod, 1357, 2468. I installed all the head studs. I installed the timing chain. It's going back into the same place as before. The only thing, I'll show you guys. The only thing that I did this year, I added a GM tensioner because the LS motors are notorious for having loose timing chains. When I installed this timing chain set last season, it was pretty good considering it's an LS motor, because the LS motors usually, they're literally bouncing. Original, you know, you get a new timing set from GM, it's freaking loose, right? And then the newer years, they decided to put a tensioner. So last year when I did the engine, it was very, very acceptable the way the timing chain was. This year, it got a bit looser. It's normal after all those races. So all I did, I added the GM tensioner, and now it's super solid. And at the same time, we're gonna have more consistent timing in the engine, being a nitrous engine, and seeing all this detonation that took place when those, you know, I'm not the one tuning the engine, I'm the guy that built the engine. I mean, this engine ran one season in a drift car, and it is a stock block, but I mean, the cylinders went out of round, and the skirts on the pistons didn't look very good. Like, it looks super abused, the engine, compared to, I mean, that engine right here made 2,000 horsepower in a drag race application. Now you're gonna tell me, okay, it's an 8-mile racing, it's not the same as racing for 2-3 minutes in a drift application, but that engine is making double the horsepower than this one is making. That one is a Dart block, this one is a stock block, right? Same guy, same machinist, same measuring tools, same everything. The bores were perfect when I first did this engine. And when I took it apart, took the dull bore gauge, and the cylinders were like all over the place. So obviously, it was a new block. I'm gonna repeat again. It was a new block, I never run. So maybe it core shifted. I'm very curious to see next refresh if the cylinders are gonna go out of whack again. If that's the case, we definitely need a Dart block. I'm continuing. We're continuing on the 416 drift engine. Crank is in, all the main bearing clears is done, the rings are gapped. Camshaft is installed back to where it was before. I showed that I use a tensioner to take away any slack from the timing chain. I center my front cover. I install my front cover. I have a tool for that. This tool right here. I use it to center my front cover. It's all done. Then the way I do these dampeners, to make it easier for installation, we do hone it to size, but because of the application, drift or circle track, stuff like that, I like to have a better press fit. And what I do is, before I install it, I warm up the hub. This is 3-piece. There's the hub, there's this pulley over here in the back, and there's the front cover. So it's 3 pieces. So I warm up my hub, I install the hub. This obviously was already behind the hub. Everything is torqued inside. And as you can see here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 bolts, okay? The 3 long bolts go all the way. I believe it's this one here. No, that's not the one. A second. Yeah, this is the long one. I haven't put Loctite yet. I just wanted to, because it goes one way. There's an offset for everything to line up. So the 3 long bolts hold the pulley in the back, and the other 6 bolts hold the front piece on the hub, and everything has to be torqued with Loctite and according to specs. So 99% of the ATI dampeners, it's even written in the paper, it needs to be honed to the size of the snout of your crankshaft. But with experience, certain things like supercharge applications, like when we do double keyway, we like to have a certain press fit. So being an engine that's always bouncing off the reveler because it's a drift engine, I like to have kind of similar press fit like I do on my supercharged deals. It's a single keyway. So the proper way to install it to make your life easier, you warm up the hub and then it slides right in. Doesn't slide in, but it's a lot easier to install. And when it's time to come out, it does come out. It's not like those, the guys that don't hone them to size. We do hone them, but I like to, certain applications, I like to have a little bit more of a press fit. This is gonna be for today. I'm just gonna finish wrapping up my torquing all that up and prepare my pistons so tomorrow I can do the final assembly. George MGR Performance. Hit a like, subscribe. We're gonna have more videos coming up. Thank you.